Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 422. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan today. We're coming out of the vault and into the wasteland. Now hit our theme song! Hey Ryan, we're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down? I just realized how dark it is in here.
It is fairly dark. You turn the camera a little bit more so people can see me.
Oh.
And then I can see me.
There
we go.
That's a YouTube reference.
That is a YouTube reference, which you should be watching because Tyler and Joe work really hard to make us look good. I have a shirt on that says how much I love them, which you would also see if you were watching there. What's happening?
We've got some stories to tell. We've got some people to thank. But before we get to any of that, we have to thank our daddy.
We have to fish daddy, which is to say we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. They're your source for all your gaming needs, as well as Pile of Bones Brewing Co. out in Regina. They're the second coolest thing to come out of Regina, and the official beer sponsor for CCO Sidewalk Slam Season 2 right here on YouTube.
That's why you do that part.
Thanks.
Couple things. Sidewalk Slam, Game 3 of Season 2, at Tyler for the finishing touches. It's at the Tyler step. So Brando's got the I Love My Video Editor shirt on that we got in Chicago. Big thanks to everybody that we met in Chicago. Definitely tune into Sidewalk Slam Game 3 because it was a good one.
Yeah.
Your boy was really fighting for this one. You'll have to tune in on March 15th. March 15th. We've done this before where we name a date and it's wrong, but I'm going to throw out March 15th because that's a Friday. I'm looking right at the calendar. Set your watches.
Do people still wear? Yeah, people still wear watches. It tells them your heartbeat and like.
Yep.
Alex was telling me about levels or something that was on, and I couldn't figure out what he was talking about, and he meant for diabetes.
Yeah, blood sugar levels and stuff.
It was a diabetes thing. It took me a long time to figure that out, and I felt very smart.
Maybe people can watch Sidewalk Slam on their watches now.
Can you? I mean, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, there's nothing about that would surprise me.
So,
yes.
We've got to jump right into it, but we've got a couple things that we got to get to.
Okay.
Thanks to the business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. Use CCO Summer promo code. You're going to get a discount whenever you use that promo code. All the new Fallout stuff is going to be out by the time this episode airs. And if you want to pick up singles, collector boosters, pre-cons, those are the three ways to get the product, right?
Yeah.
You can get all those things at a discount. You're going to buy them anyways, so you might as well pay less money.
Hey, you mean to tell me I could go to a store and buy stuff I was going to buy anyway?
Yes.
And I could just give them less money.
Yes.
And still get the stuff I want?
And keep more of your own money.
Brilliant.
Yes, you could spend some of that money at Pile of Bones Brewing Co. if you would. Now, there's another way real quick here. CCO Perks. If you're new, because we've got some new subs on YouTube after Chicago, welcome to the show. CCO Perks, when you spend over $100, is going to get you 10% of your money back in as store credit when you spend over $100 Canadian, which is like $40 American. You should try it sometime.
Yeah, following us being in America and me buying some cards, I can confirm it is expensive to buy things in America.
For us.
Because
it's actually like 35% more. So if you want to get a discount, FusionGamingOnline.com.
Yes.
That's the place to go.
Yes.
If you want to help support the show, like our new patron. You can head to patreon.com/CCO Podcast. Lots of great benefits there, like the CCO nickname, which this person is going to get.
Oh, yeah, prepare.
Yeah, for your nickname. It's a benefit.
Yeah, it's a benefit with the air quotes.
The real benefit, though, is the CCO Discord. The real benefit is the invite to CCO Experience in Chicago or Las Vegas or Vancouver in May Long for the face-to-face thing. That's a real benefit. But also early access to some content, additional discounts at CommanderCookout.com store, and a couple little things that sometimes we'll throw the patrons: early access, sneak peeks, funny clips that when I'm doing some editing.
Yep.
All fun benefits, which are cool. But of course, your boys, the goons from Saskatoon, unending gratitude. I got a frog in my throat. What am I supposed to do?
You do. Listen here, Kermit. I'm Kermit the Frog.
It's because it's the morning. I was up late driving my wife around all about the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's not even a euphemism for something.
You know where I was? You'll never guess where I was. I want to talk about where I was. I was at...
You're probably at the yard.
No, I was at the Saskatoon city championships for like high school collegiate wrestling.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That would have been probably like my fourth guess.
I was watching Sam's daughter in the gold medal match.
Oh,
yeah. She almost was city champ. She got silver.
Well,
alas.
That's still pretty
That's
good.
still really fucking good. I'm very proud of her.
Nobody's going to bully her.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh.
Yeah, me. Didn't win? No, I'm a sports dad now.
She'll just twist your arm one time and you'll shut up forever.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so I'm a sports dad now, even though I'm not her dad, but I don't know. I'm very proud of her.
You
And
know what?
she invited me to come, which makes me very happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Supportive parental figure, very important.
Yeah, I feel
I
good
spent a
about
lot
that.
of time in Chicago with the parent thing this time, hey? Just trying to find out about that side of the show, and it was pretty cool. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit as we go. I did a virtual tour on Commander Ad Populum. That's another one of the shows on the Commander Cookout Media Group. But we'd be remiss if we didn't thank our new patron.
Oh, yeah. Who are they again?
Okay. It's a pseudonym,
Pseudonym.
which usually we give like a funny different nickname to.
Jackson Reed.
Well, just listen to this because I have a sneaking suspicion.
Okay.
Hendrell 55, but the L Hendrell kind of looks like an uppercase I.
Okay.
Which in that case it would be Hente. It would be Hende. Hendre.
Hendre, which is Hente.
Yes.
55. Okay, Hendrell rhymes with tendrel, and tendrel is another word for tentacle.
Yes.
And a tentacle kind of looks like a 5.
Oh yeah. Well, there's one straight tentacle, Hendrell.
Oh.
And then there's two squiggly ones.
So is Hente Tentacle 55.
Hente squiddy tentacle.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you don't know, that's fine. If you do know,
They know.
shame on you.
They all know.
Nah,
Brando.
there's no kink shaming in the nation.
There is the internet out there, and
Yeah.
they are on it listening to this.
Yes,
they
that's
know.
true. Degenerates, every one of us, hey? Jeez.
I got a couple degenerates I got to throw a shout out to. A big thank you for the support on coffee. There's periodic support over there, but when the CCO experience rolls around, people want to, buy a couple members in the nation a beer. The link to the coffee, if you ever want to support Commander Cookout by single donation, is in the show notes below, coffee.com/Commander Cookout. Yep. We got Tyler Schultz, Taylor Schultz, Tyler Matuli Stone,
I love that guy.
David Wolf, and Willie P. 90 Degree, and Scott C.
Wow.
Sorry, I kind of butchered and jumbled all that together, but you guys know who you are, and we do very much appreciate it.
And we did drink beer on your behalf.
We did.
So
yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some deep dish pizza. And
Oh,
some,
man, that was the best.
But we got a couple beer in the command zone, right?
A couple. I drank like 8 beer one day.
8. Those are rookie numbers.
Well, that's pretty good for one sitting.
Yeah, guy didn't even get up.
Yeah, didn't even stand up. Just started like,
yeah.
oh, man, I drank all that beer in that bag. That's not good.
Yeah. So that's a couple pieces of podcasting business. We had some new stickers made specifically for the event.
Very exciting.
And they are on commandercookout.com now. As part of the deal of the week, I'm carrying it over for another week. You buy a sticker pack, and you get all of the new stickers plus a bunch of the old ones all at a discount, $5 off. So that's
Neat.
the deal of the week. You can head on over there. That support goes a long way to helping us do things like website hosting and making the CCO experience very affordable for people. So
Yes.
all that being said, hey, that's like record time not talking about Magic to get yelled at on YouTube.
Man, people on YouTube got to relax.
Yeah, do you want to do a couple cards with the camera on or switch right to cards and make it a little bit easier or harder for Editor Joe?
No,
I'm not sure.
Hey, man, I might love my video editor, but I'm not about making their lives fucking easy. Let's just talk about the first one. Are we going to go alphabetically from the top or the bottom?
Let's go alphabetically because I think we both wanted to talk about this first guy. We're not going to look at all 52 of them. There's 52 new commanders. They come in pre-cons, they come in collector boosters, or you can buy them individually.
Yes.
That's the only way to get this product, right?
Correct.
Okay. Who's the first guy?
The first one is Agent Frank Horrigan.
Frank and his friend Steve.
He's an 8/8 or 8/6 mutant warrior for 7, so you know that he's going to do something obscene.
8/6 for 7. Okay,
Yes.
right off the bat, like, are we okay with that as our commander? The 7 drop, but man, come on, he smacks for 8. That's really freaking good.
I play 7-drop commanders that are smaller than him.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, Toxro?
Yeah, Toxro is
okay.
smaller.
Okay.
Omnath is technically smaller.
Yes.
Right? 7-drop commanders are the shit, I'm telling you.
Okay.
So, Trample. It is indestructible as long as it has attacked.
Oh, that gives me Zergo
Helm Smasher.
Yeah, the Zergo Helm Smasher vibes, hey? Okay.
And whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, you proliferate twice.
Oh, that's, I think, why people are going to play him.
Yeah.
Proliferate twice.
Yes. So very good.
That is, oh man, what's Contagion Engine on ETB? So we're not in Blink colors, but we're in Sacrifice and Get Back colors.
We're in attack colors.
Yeah,
Just
even
attack.
I'm thinking like even if we play him at 7, sacrifice him and immediately get him back, like if the deck is constructed in that way, immediately proliferate 4 times for 7 mana.
That's pretty good.
That's actually good. And then like, are you playing him in Infect? Are you playing him in +1 counters? Are you playing him in...
Yeah.
What do we care about in Golgari besides +1s in green and Infect in...
Green?
In green-black? Like, is that what people are going to do with him?
I assume so.
I assume so. Why did you want to talk about him?
This guy and the next guy that I think you also wanted to talk about.
I did, yeah.
They stand out for me, and I've been thinking about this a lot over the last bunch of sets, where we're getting dozens of legendaries a set. And I think
dozens, yeah.
Well, there's dozens. There's 4 dozen legendaries.
Yeah, we're getting almost dozens of dozens.
And I'm thinking to myself, why are there so many? There was a time when we would talk about every legendary creature in a set.
Yep.
Because they all gave you something, right? And I feel like now we're talking about maybe 10, 12 in a show.
Yeah.
Why is that? And I think that maybe, and this product is a bad example because this is built for Commander. They're all Commander products. There's no reason to do what I'm about to suggest.
Okay.
But I feel that Agent Frank Horrigan could just be a creature.
Just a random 7-drop 8/6 that you're just going to draw on your 99 and beat.
It says all the same shit on it, but he's not a legendary creature.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like he's the best commander for any of the decks that he would go in, but he'd be a great inclusion in lots of them.
And I know that you can just put him in your 99, right?
I know, but why then he should appear on next week's show where we talk about just the regular thing. You know what I mean? Like, why is... Like, there's so many legendaries. People go, we got more commanders in the last 2 years than we did in 25 years of Magic. Because every creature is legendary because they have so many named people that they wanted fan service into the set, right? And I feel that this might be one of them, and there's a few other ones that didn't necessarily need to be legendary, but they are because fan service and licensing, and they want to make sure they touch on all the things that Fallout fans want to see.
Yeah, you know what? As long as it's not warping the game, like, okay, lots of legends are changing the game, but it's not making it worse, I don't think. And having this guy as a named character is kind of like an extraneous detail when he's in my 99. He could just be an anybody, like, or a nobody, right? They're fan servicing, but not in a good way because it's not actually changing or warping or doing anything. Making this guy a commander, because he's not the face commander.
No.
And very few of these are going to be face commanders because there's 52 of them. There's only 4 face commanders, 8 face commanders if you count like the backups or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do recognize what you're saying. They could kind of be anything. Maybe they're a little bit overstated. Maybe they have a few extra like words on them or like an extra line, like ability text.
Sure. Make him the 8/6 and take away the indestructible thing, and he's just a great big mutant that attacks, right?
I don't know enough about Fallout like I do about Lord of the Rings to say this is why he has that first ability. This is why he has that second ability. Yeah. I'm not the guy in Fallout to say that, but I'm sure that exists because...
Sure.
And I'm sure it exists on all things that are legends, but maybe ought not to be.
Let us know in the comments. And maybe they do. And again, this set is a bad example for this because you can do all this shit here because it's not like it's going to filter into... Modern or Standard or whatever, where you're going to play 4 of this guy, right?
Dude, it's barely going to filter into Commander, right? Like, there's so many things now, and so many people are getting comfortable with the barrage of product, which is fine. Everybody knows how I feel about that. Yep. There's so much of it that so little of it actually permeates into Commander in a very meaningful way. Yeah. Right? Like, how many... We said this a few weeks ago. How many Doctor Who cards do we see on the regular? Maybe 1 or 2?
Yeah, I see 2 because I play them.
Yeah, and you played it against me, and it's the first time. It was supposed to be the number 1 card from the set, Everybody Lives.
Yep.
Right? And I've seen it in a game 1 time, and it was against you, and you didn't even win.
Yeah.
You lived.
I did live.
And so did everybody else.
Yeah.
But then the next turn they died.
Yes.
Right? And that's not that card's fault, and we're not talking about Doctor Who, but
Yeah.
it's just kind of the overall observation that we're continuing to kind of develop as we see so many commanders and so many cards that people are regarding as so powerful to sell these Universes Beyond sets. It's turning into not actually a very big deal, and I'm seeing a lot more old, janky, shitty cards where people are like, yeah, I wanted to play this because it's old and jank and shitty.
Right?
And let me tell you, we're here for that.
Yeah, we are here for old and jank and shit. You want to do...
I got one more guy here that I want to talk about, then we'll flip over to cards.
Wait, I do two. Let's do two more.
Okay, let's do two more.
'Kay.
Okay. Aradesh?
Aradesh the Founder.
Aradesh the Founder. You know this guy from the game?
I believe he is the guy from New Vegas that found the resistance against Caesar's Legion.
Okay.
I think.
And we have Caesar's Legion. Maybe we'll read him after we kick over to cards. So
We will. He's quite good.
Aradesh Human Soldier, a 1/4 for 3. So he's got a big butt. He's got Enlist. This isn't new. We've seen this in Ravnica, I think, right?
I believe we've seen this before.
Ravnica, it's probably a Boros ability because it's an attacker. It says, as this creature attacks, you may tap a non-attacking creature you control without summoning sickness. So it can't be a guy that you just cast. It's got to be a guy that's been around. When you do, add its power to this creature's until end of turn. So if I've got a 2/2 that I've just had forever, and this guy, because he has Enlist attacks, I can tap my 2/2, and now this guy attacks as a 3/4.
So is this quasi-fixed banding, kind of?
It gives me quasi-fixed banding feelings.
Yes.
Yes.
It also has, if the creature's power is 4 or bigger, you draw a card.
Whoa, no. It does more than that. Whenever a creature you control attacks, if it enlisted a creature this combat, the creature that attacked gains double strike until end of turn. If that creature's power is 4 or greater, draw a card.
There we go.
Yes. Now, I assume if that creature's power is 4 or greater, draw a card means the creature that's attacking.
Yes.
The enlisting creature. And enlist adds the tapped creature's power to the attacking creature's power.
In this case, Aradesh.
Yes. This works the best with Aradesh on himself.
Well, it only works for him. It has to be this one.
If you've got other creatures with enlist, it also helps them.
You won't.
Yes, so that's a little bit the downside to this card is there's probably not enough good enlist creatures to make an enlist deck, but this guy essentially is card draw and essentially is double strike and can represent
several damages.
Those two things, which are very powerful, especially in white, especially lately, as we're getting so many cards now that draw cards in white. And the hoops aren't even that bad to jump through.
I would suggest this guy represents between 4 and 8 damage easily by turn 4. And I'm talking every game in a white deck.
Yeah.
You're going to have a 2/2 or a 3x every game, probably by turn 4.
Yeah, you put 3/1 in your deck, and this guy attacks as an 8/8 on turn. What's a 3/1 cost? 2 mana?
2, yeah.
Then this guy costs 3. Yeah, so turn 4, you hit for 8, draw a card.
Pretty good.
And that's maybe commander damage if it's like the mono white soldier deck. Aggro decks like that usually peter out, but you can get some good damage in early that'll facilitate your big expensive white angels or whatever's in the air late game that don't care about double strike because they're freaking huge.
Yeah.
And you're going to draw cards the whole way. So this guy is cool if you're into mono white, kind of white weenie card advantage in the command zone, which is really what that deck needed. Actually, I'm not saying that ironically or whatever. That deck did need that.
I'm going to talk about a 99er.
Sure.
Bit character from Fallout 3, Butch Delora Tunnel Snake.
Oh, I got a tunnel snake for you
right
here.
And the reason why I don't rank this guy higher on my list because he doesn't have green.
Okay.
He should have green in him, but
So you can play snakes.
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely correct. Going into Hepatra if I can find one. He's a 2/2 for 2, one of which is black. He has Menace. Whenever he attacks, put a +1/+1 counter, or he gets a +1/+1 counter, and turn each other creature and rogue we control.
Jesus Christ! Start again. You.
Whenever he attacks,
Yes.
it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other rogue and or snake.
Oh,
Boom.
that did it.
Got there. Black 1, put a menace counter on target creature. It becomes a rogue in addition to its other types. So he's the bully in Fallout 3 that bullies your character and his little buddies, and he like pressures other people to join his gang or you get beat up. Right?
So we can put that menace counter on one of our creatures to make it harder to block.
Yep.
And in snake decks where you're going to play it, you get in with him for big.
Yeah, because he attacks with his whole gang, right? Because it's not just him you're dealing with, it's his whole posse.
His whole gang of snakes. Is that their gang name? The Snakes.
Tunnel snakes.
The Tunnel Snakes.
Yeah, because they live underground in some tunnels, right?
Yes.
Oh, man. One of the best feelings in the world, glocking that guy.
Getting them unalive?
Yeah, with a gun. Yeah. Fallout, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
But
Okay.
I like that card, though. I think that's cool. Like I said, I wish he had green in him, but I'll throw him into Hapatra and see how he does.
If he had green in him, he wasn't going into like be your commander in your snake deck anyways, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so black 1 just makes him actually easier to cast.
Yes. Maybe I'll try him in Hirobi.
Oh, yeah, because you could pay 2 and put a menace counter on something and it would die.
Yeah. And then if I don't have Hirobi, I can make my guys harder to block.
Still in the 99.
Yep.
And legendary creature, long dash, human rogue, completely extraneous text. Could just be creature, human rogue.
Could have just been, exactly.
It could have just been tunnel snake gang member.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It could have just said the tunnel snakes.
That would make them legendary.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
the
it's
tunnel snakes is a group of people, all capitals.
Just tunnel snake.
Tunnel snake.
And then everybody's like, why isn't there a snake? And then the Fallout nerds could be like, well, the tunnel snakes were this.
But then somebody would say, why isn't this legendary? If this is the tunnel snake, taking away the doesn't change that it's still the person.
How about a tunnel snake? There we go. I did it.
Then they would say.
No, then they would shut up because we got them a tunnel snake.
Tunnel snake.
Yes. A singular tunnel snake.
Is there a card that just begins with the letter A as an entire word?
It should. There should be one.
Let's flip over to cards. We've got a few more that we're going to talk about, and then, of course, get into our favorites, who we're playing in 99, Commander, most powerful, all that stuff.
Correct.
Okay, I got this. Caesar Legion's Emperor. We said we're going to read them. This is one of the earlier ones that was previewed way back on the preview panel, like on Daily MTG or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Weekly MTG. This is a 4/4 for black, white, red, 1 legendary creature, human soldier. They're sure giving us a lot of them human soldiers, hey?
That's because we're in a place where everybody's human except for the mutants.
Oh, yeah, because we're on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We're on literal Earth. We're in Las Vegas.
Oh.
This guy lives in Las Vegas next to the Mojave Dam.
Yo, why didn't they save this one for Las Vegas Command or Magic Con time? Doesn't matter. Whenever you attack, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, choose 2.
2.
Ooh. Create 2 1/1 red and white soldier creature tokens with haste that are tapped and attacking. You draw a card and lose a life. Caesar Legion's Emperor deals damage equal to the number of creature tokens you control to target opponent. Man,
This guy's really good.
that is good. Okay, so whenever you attack, doesn't matter if it's with him or not.
Correct.
So you play him on like turn 3 or 4 when you already have a guy. Then you make 2 more guys, and then you deal a bunch of damage late game probably. Or if it's early game, you probably just take the card draw, hey?
Well, or do both. Because you get 2.
I know, but early game you probably take the guys and take the card draw, hey?
Is this the deck that you just play all of the little low to the ground 1/1 guys that give you dudes when they die?
Yes.
And then you just attack with them, sack them, turn them into 2 different guys that are attacking or draw a card,
Yes.
and then just do damage over time each and every time anything happens?
Yes. Think of Krenko's Command. Think
Yeah.
of... can you animate tokens in these colors? Like, can you make your treasures into 4/4s in these colors? Or is that a blue thing?
I think that's a blue thing.
That's a blue thing. Yeah, okay. But I think that this guy's good because he facilitates early game card draw and tokens and chump blockers. And then late game, he's got like that win condition if you've got like 15 creature tokens of various types, and you just go attack, hit you for 15, and then then attack damage, you die.
Then hit you for 15 as well. Well, you could play O3 in this deck. He makes tokens every turn that are going to count for this,
That
right?
also
Like
are tapped and attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could do goblin tokens, zombie tokens, human tokens. Oh, man.
This guy is very good. I don't think we need to go too deep into how good he is, but he's very... Is he going to be the new Edgar Markov? Not Edgar. Is it Edgar Markov that cost $1 million?
Edgar Markov, yeah.
Is he going to be the new one?
Hey, similar stats and gives you guys when you guy.
Yeah.
And also. Right?
Are they printing this guy to kind of maybe replace Edgar at the head of Mardu decks?
That's a good observation. It does open up Edgar-style decks into all other colors, but your limiting or your build-around, instead of being vampires, like there's any shortage of that, is you have to do it with creature tokens, which is completely fine because I assume that this guy's the Legion's emperor and he thinks that all of his subjects are somewhat disposable, like we would think tokens are in a game of Magic. So
Correct.
I assume that it's flavorful, and it certainly does read as powerful, and the comparison to Edgar Markov, I think, is an apt one.
Thank you.
There you go. Look, it's like you've done this before.
Look at us go.
All right.
Here's one that I like in the... What is the thing? The long list of guerrilla commanders that all kind of do something a little bit different.
Okay.
This one beats, but in a different way. It's Kate, Cage Brawler, is a 1/1 for 2. As long as it's your turn, she's indestructible. Whenever she attacks, you and defending player each draw a card, then discard a card. Neat.
Mm-hmm.
Put 2+1/+1 counters on Kate if you discarded the card with the highest mana value among those cards or tied for the highest.
Oh, that's kind of like Clash, but you have to discard a card instead of reveal it?
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
I kind of dig that.
How do we leverage that in green?
Well, I mean, green has lots of graveyard getter-backer stuff. So
But it goes to your hand, though. If you're discarding something with a huge mana cost, that you just goes back to your hand. I guess you're playing green. You have mana.
Yeah. And you can just do it over and over again, too.
Yeah.
World Spine Worm. Take 3. World Spine Worm. Take 5. World Spine Worm. Take 6. Play World Spine Worm.
Well, yeah, about that.
Right?
About that part. Exactly, yeah. Hey, this one is probably, I mentioned it in the pre-show a little bit. I like the art in this. It's really dynamic. It's got like that Dutch angle where the camera, air quotes, is like at the 20 or 30 degree tilt. And it gives you the vibe that action is happening, or like we're seeing it from a third-party viewer, but we're getting the experience of this guy that's getting punched by Kate Cage Brawler.
Yes.
And I love the art direction in this set. It's just quirky enough with the funny robots and just dystopian and dark enough to feel fantasy, and just kind of artistic enough that it doesn't feel like hyper-realism photographs like the Doctor Who set did.
We can talk about this a little bit more next week, but I feel like maybe it might, for somebody who hasn't played the games like yourself, this might help. Fallout deals with a really, really bleak bunch of subject matter, and I feel like the tone of the games is actually just comical enough to kind of encapsulate the kind of mindset that a human being would have to have to survive a world like that.
It kind of gives me Zombieland vibes, where it's a comedy, but it's about like post-apocalyptic life.
Because it's so over. Like it's over. It's over. It's over. And you gotta, and you realize that the company that was, air quotes, trying to save you was actually just experimenting on you the whole time.
Yes.
And so you emerge from just like everybody hates me and the world is over. You kind of got to have a sense of humor about that.
Hey, okay, I got this. These are two things that I do have some familiarity with. This is the scale. On one end, you've got Zombieland, which is post-apocalyptic comedy. Mm-hmm. And on the other end, you've got post-apocalyptic Walking Dead, which very much is not a comedy.
Yes.
And Fallout exists kind of 60% of the way towards Zombieland.
Precisely.
Yeah, not 50-50, and it's still bleak, and it's still dark, dreary, and heavy subject matter. Existential subject matter, if you will.
Yes, like once you're outside of the towns, you're like, oh man, this is sad. So you turn the radio on, and it's Three Dog, and he's in the wasteland blasting the tunes, baby, right?
Uncle Brando and Three Dog in the waste, blasting the tunes.
We're going to talk about Three Dog later on.
Commander Cookout Podcast in the waste.
We're all that's left, so you'd better subscribe, right?
Subscribe or else.
Commander Cockroach Podcast. That's what we'd be then. We're the only thing that makes it.
Oh, we're the cockroach of Commander Podcast.
Oh, man, our stickers will be used as money instead of bottle caps. Hang on to them, baby.
Yes. Okay, I got my next guy I want to talk about.
Okay.
Oh, that was so fantastic. That was the best piece of podcasting you've done in a good long while. I'll tell you that much.
Well, thank you.
That was clever and funny. I hope everybody enjoyed that because that was completely off the cuff. Frick. Okay. Codsworth Handy Helper.
Like these guys.
Man, I love getting handy.
Yep. He doesn't even have hands, though. He's got weird little metal hooks.
Oh, yeah, I don't want handies with metal hooks. No kink shaming in the nation if that's what you're into. But I'm
True that.
Okay, so this guy's our first robot.
Yep.
That we've talked about, and there's a bunch of robots. You could make like with this and Doctor Who. Did they give us robots?
Yeah, I think.
And a few of the playable robots from
Unfinity.
Yep. Oh, Cybermen were robots, weren't they?
No, they were Cybermen.
Well, we got robots now. Okay, so this is a 2/3 legendary artifact creature robot. This probably be the last white card I'll talk about. You'll have to see if this one makes my top 5 on 5 this Friday.
Yes.
Top 5 and 5 this Friday, where I look at the legends. That's why Brando's doing most of the reviewing today. So this guy is a 2/3 for white 2. Commanders you control have ward 2, because of course they do.
Why not?
Also, tap. Add white. Spend this mana only to cast auras and or equipment spells. So it's a mana dork for your enchantress or equipment beat 'em up decks.
Right.
Also, tap. Attach target aura or equipment you control to target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. So it lets you move equipments. What else is new? But it lets you move auras.
Which is not something that's new, but not something that's so readily available as this.
Well, what if I play a flyer later in the game and now I want my Ancestral Mask on my flyer so I can hit you for 50?
Yeah.
Or what if I've got like a totem armor and I want to kill your guy that you're going to block with, but then the totem armor saves my attacker? That kind of stuff.
And why are you even playing Ancestral Mask when there's Strong Back?
Strong back. So I like that guy. It's kind of a cute little art. Like I'm assuming I'm looking at his eyeballs and he's holding a hammer and he's like polishing some old vehicle with his other hand. He's being handy.
Yeah, they're doing lots of neat. Those robots kind of, some of them will help. Some of them are insane. There's an insane one we've seen down later in the thing. And they just kind of roam around the wasteland. They're, I'm here to help you, like in Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll attack you and sometimes they won't. But they're always fun to run into unless
there you go.
unless you don't have a gun.
Who's your next guy?
Now, the next one I want to combine, actually. I want to combine 2 of them. That's one of them. Colonel Autumn and where's the other?
He's scrolling down.
There's another Demir guy. There. No, not McCready. Whatever. We'll find him later, but we'll talk about him. So
it's not Demir. It's
Orzhov.
Orzhov, yeah.
Colonel Autumn, another... What's that thing that happens in Orzhov?
Legendary creature type matters.
Nope, the other one. The
Exploit?
Aristocrats.
Yes.
Aristocrats is what this guy is for. He's a 2/3 lifelinker for 3. He's got exploits, so whenever you play... And gives your other legends exploit as well. So you play a legendary creature, sack a bro, they'll do a thing. Whenever a creature you control exploits another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
Yeah, and the other one you're probably thinking of is Elder Arthur Maxon, which is an Orzhov 4/2 human knight. Creature tokens you control have training, which is whenever a creature token you control attacks with another creature with greater power, put a +1 on the token, and also sacrifice another creature. Elder Arthur Maxon gains indestructible until end of turn. You're thinking about this for your legendary creature matters, Regadraga, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I've seen a little bit of a trend in Orzhov, and I think it's because Regadraga players allow... or that card allows you to play just all the commanders.
Yeah.
Right? And we see a whole bunch of like legendary things that are kind of doing similar in Orzhov. And I hate to say like Orzhov and Aristocrats is kind of turning into Boros attacky. In that we're getting that motif like repeated and repeated and repeated.
It's Orzhov-y, sacky, drainy.
Yeah, that isn't necessarily the type of repetition I'm here for in a Magic set when it comes to commanders. I'm into repetition by way of like repeating the robot creature type. Or in this set we got Arcade Ganon, which is a doctor, and that's another doctor now that we can add to our air quotes doctor deck.
Yeah.
Or we've got Dogmeat, Ever Loyal, another Naya dog that can go in the dog deck, that kind of stuff, right?
Yes, those are the things that I prefer to, as opposed to here's more Orzhov for your Orzhov decks.
Yeah,
you like Orzhov.
it's a little bit more subtle when you start to get more entrenched and you can start to recognize or look at little things like, oh, that creature type matters because this deck exists.
Yes.
It's kind of like the finer tuning knobs that WotC can tweak to really give us something interesting and cool.
Agreed.
So
let's talk about one that people have been very excited about.
Dude.
And have been waiting for how many years now? Lots of years we've been waiting for Dr. Madison Lee.
Not her specifically, but give her a read.
Not her. I'd say her specifically. This is what we wanted.
We
didn't know it's what we wanted, but it's what we wanted.
Okay.
So she's blue, red, white, 2/3 human scientist. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you get an energy counter.
Artifact gives you energy, like 1-for-1 straight up.
Yep.
Wow. Wow, that's strong.
That's a lot.
What is energy going to give us, though?
Also,
In addition to all of the other blue, red, white energy cards that we could play already.
What's it going to give us on this card? In this case, it gives us tap, pay an energy. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains trample and haste until end of turn, because those colors typically do trample and haste. Tap, pay 3 energy, draw a card. That's pretty good. Tap, pay 5 energy, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped.
Man, Aetherworks Marvel spiked when this card was previewed a couple months ago. Or whenever this came out, Aetherworks Marvel went from $1 and now it's 10. So thanks, Energy Commanders.
So she's the energy commander. You put her in all those energy decks that you've been trying to build all this time.
Yep. And she comes with a buddy too, hey?
She does.
She's got Liberty Prime Recharged. I assume this is some kind of Liberty American colors thing that Fallout cares about. Sure. I don't know. I'm Canadian. I never played the game. All I know is this guy costs Jeskai 2, so that's 5 total, for an 8/8 Vig Trampsky Haste. So this is on turn 4 or 5 in the right build.
Yeah.
You got an 8/8 Trample Haste Vig. Maybe he's in your 99. Maybe he's like, you swap, because he's probably the backup singer, and the other energy commander is the prime commander for that precon. This guy also, in addition to those 3 abilities and being an 8/8 for 5, whenever Liberty Prime Recharged attacks or blocks, sacrifice it unless you pay energy. Yep. So it's got to be the energy deck that this guy goes in. Right? Unless, because that's a triggered ability and you're playing white-blue, you attack with him and then you immediately bounce him or flicker him back onto the battlefield. And then he's got nothing to worry about. But also, 2 tap, sack an artifact, get energy, draw a card.
So you attack with him, then you pay 2 and tap him to sack an artifact to get the energy, to pay for his ability, and draw a card.
So that vigilance is really handy because he's self-serving.
That's right.
He's his own handyman, if you know what I mean. Man, frick, I like that card. I like that card, and I want to do the energy deck. Like, come on, I'm a nerdy Magic player, and I want to do the nerdy Magic player thing. We've been waiting for energy for years, and now we freaking get it.
So here's the I'll give you the quick Fallout story of what's going on there. So Dr. Madison Lee invented Liberty Prime to help take back in the Capital Wasteland in Washington, there is a facility that you have to attach something to.
The Capital Wasteland in Washington is the American dream colors.
And you got to attach this thing to it to revitalize the wasteland and kind of start making it habitable for people again.
Okay.
And they got to use this giant robot to fight through all the assholes that are trying to stop you from doing that. Why anybody would want to stop you from doing that, I don't know. But the big robot stomps the shit out of them, and it's awesome. You just kind of walk behind them, and the robot's just wrecking everybody's ass. It's really cool. It's lots of fun.
There you go.
Now, here's one that I'm curious. I'm going to throw this one out to the nation because I feel like this could be a cool deck.
Okay.
I feel like this could be a neat one. Hancock Ghoulish Mayor.
Oh, I had him on my screen too, but for a different reason.
So he's an advisor.
Yes.
He's 2/1 for 3, one of which is black. Each other creature you control that's a zombie or a mutant gets +X/+X, where X is the number of counters of any kind on the Ghoulish Mayor.
Yes.
And then he has Undying. So he doesn't really necessarily make himself go, so you have to jump through some hoops to make him go.
Other than Undying, you could just kill him, he comes back, and all your zombies get +1/+1, and he's a zombie lord.
Sure.
And lords costs 3. So he's right on point. you got to do some extra work to make them on point. But if you do some extra work, then all your zombies are getting +10/+10.
Yeah, and I'm curious about the kind of extra work that we can put in to do mono black, counters matter, zombie mutant deck. I think that's pretty cool. Like that's a challenge if ever I've seen one.
Yes.
And I like that.
I'm definitely here for this guy. In addition to being an advisor, he's a zombie, which is one of Magic's most prolific creature types. He's a legend, and he's mono black. And you know that mono black zombie is my way to zombie.
Yes.
That is my preferred zombie vehicle, sir.
Yes.
And this guy is cool. The Undying facilitates himself, and if you could remove that counter, then it makes it so he like doesn't die.
Yeah.
So your commander can always come back, or if he dies and comes back, or no, get this, you could put a different kind of counter on him, then he'll die and still come back because he didn't have a +1.
Yeah.
Then he'll have a counter anyways. He dies again, you're playing black, you bring him back. And then you immediately sacrifice him so he comes back with a +1 on him again. Right? So, and you can farm dies triggers, ETB triggers, sacrifice effects like carrion feeder and stuff. That's also a zombie. So yeah, you could definitely do the zombies thing with this guy. And being an advisor is just a bonus point. Check this out. We've got Jason Bright, Glowing Prophet, McCready, Lamplight Mayor, Marcus, Mutant Mayor, and Overseer of Vault 76.
How many mayors are there? 3 mayors?
Well, there's 5 advisors.
And 3 of them are mayors.
Yeah, look at that. Well, what's a mayor supposed to do? Advise city officials on where to spend bottle caps in this case.
Yes, I'm just surprised there's so many damn mayors. I never put that together until right now.
There you go.
Dang.
I like Marcus Mutant Mayor. A little bit, it's Simic bullshit, and it's card draw in the command zone. But I think this is going to be one of the guys that we're going to definitely see in the 99 of like Tatiova decks and stuff.
For sure.
I'll give him a read. He's a 4/4 mutant advisor.
There you go.
For blue, green, 3. So trample and vigilance. So he's above rate. 4/4 Vig trample for 5. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card if that creature has a +1/+1 counter on it. If it doesn't, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So you're already doing the bullshit. The card draw potentially in the command zone, +1s potentially in the command zone. But if you're not, he can go in the 99 of your +1/+1 counter deck.
Yep.
Or the deck that wants to attack with a bunch of creatures.
Also, yep.
Which is probably all of them.
Yes.
And give you card draw and buff. And if you're playing doubling season, because why wouldn't you be, he double buffs.
Yes.
This card's good.
He's very good.
And I think it's going to be one of the ones that we see. Because we kind of try and touch on, like, what are we going to see, what goes where, and what's going to permeate long-term into the format. And I think that this one is going to be one of them.
I agree.
Cool.
I want to touch on one just real fast.
Sure.
There's 2 real quick ones I want to do just real quick. Harold and Bob First Newmans is a 3/3 for 3 with Vigilance and Reach, Tree Folk Mutant. When it dies, if it's a creature, return it to play as an aura enchantment with Enchant Forest you control, and Enchanted Forest has tap, add 3 mana of any one color, you get 2 rad counters. Now, Harold and Bob were these 2 guys that got caught up in the Fallout blast and got mutated into a tree.
Okay.
And when you meet them, their whole thing is like, get me out of this tree. And when you can't, they like, please kill me, because I hate being trees.
Yes.
And so when you kill them, they give you a reward. In this case, you kill them, and they give you the reward of making your tree like super good.
Yeah.
I like that.
That tells a little story. I don't mind that.
I like the story card. And the other one I want to hit on real fast.
Hold on real quick. We're going to go into rad counters next week.
Correct. We'll talk
because I think that they have a place in games, and I think we're going to see that, especially because so many people buy and play with precons unedited or very lightly edited these days. Okay.
We're going to see some rad counters shenanigans. Another one is one that got a lot of talk around Chicago, where people are like, oh, don't make me do math. In Legate, Linnaeus, Caesar's Ace.
Jeez, that sounds like frickin'
Caesar's ass.
Well, I was going to say that sounds like Latin.
Legate Anus, Caesar's ass.
There we go.
And I like that lot. So it's a 2/2 for 4. Rakdos is involved there. And it has, when it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a 10th of the creatures they control rounded up. Whenever an opponent sacks a dude, put a +1/+1 counter on him. For everybody that's complaining about all the math that they're going to have to do, the number is always going to be fucking 1. How often do you have 10 creatures and not win?
Yes.
Honestly, there's like 1 or 2 times that'll happen. So the number's going to be 1.
If I have 11 guys, do I have to sacrifice 2?
Yes, sure.
Because that makes it more than 1, and then it rounds up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if I have 11 guys, that makes a difference.
It's 2.
Yeah, but then it's 2 until I have 20 guys, and then if I'm not winning, what am I doing?
Exactly. So I just want to just tamp down the panic on that one.
Does this go in whenever an opponent sacks a creature, put a +1 on Legate Anus? Is this card even good?
Not really.
This card's not even good. It's a 4 mana 2/2. Sacrifice a guy when it ETBs. Maybe you farm the ETB, but you're not even in blink colors. You'd have to do it through the graveyard.
It's a 4 mana 5/5 is what it is. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, because each opponent sacrifices a creature.
Yeah.
It's a 4 mana 5/5. Okay, that's good, but then it doesn't do anything else. It doesn't got trample, vigilance, menace. Yeah, it looks like he should have menace. He looks scary.
Very menacing.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to see this card other than in troll like chaos decks, but those decks usually don't even play black.
They'll play Rakdos the Showstopper and flip coins to kill everything, right? Like, just do better than this guy.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
He's been outclassed, so
don't get trapped in this card because it says a weird kind of phrase on it.
Yes, everybody just calm down about him.
Okay.
Let's talk about something that I really like.
Sure.
Let's talk about one that I like. Mr. House, President and CEO.
There we go.
I like this guy.
Look at his stupid picture on there. Looks like if Gomez Adams and Salvador Dali had a baby.
So he's our classic brain in a jar guy, uploaded his consciousness into a computer, runs New Vegas, and runs all the casinos.
Yep.
Mr. House, CEO and President is Mardu for a 0/4 human. When you roll 4 or higher on a D6, create a 3/3 colorless robot artifact creature token. If you roll, oh no, you're right.
Whenever you roll 4 or higher, so anytime you roll a die.
Oh, I like this even better now.
Yeah.
I liked it, now I like it even more. If you roll 6 or higher, you create that token and a treasure, and then it has 4 tap, roll a 6-sided die plus an additional 6-sided die for each mana from treasures spent to activate this ability. So it's a cool Mardu, maybe do stuff, maybe not, tokeny token commander deck with dice rolling thrown in there.
That seems like a lot of words to say not very much or not give you a big benefit, but you're getting treasures, and you have to remember you're in 3 different colors, all of which do have access to die rolling cards in artifacts and the colors from D&D sets, from Unfinity sets. And you're going to see lots of die rolling. Now we have a commander for it.
Yeah.
Like a legitimate 3-color commander that gives you mana, that gives you 3/3s, and facilitates die rolling right on it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. And that's the exact reason why I liked it.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yep. Yeah. I've got one more, and then I'm going to give the floor over to you and provide some kind of observations with... I lied. I got 2 more. One's a meme. It's Red Death Shipwrecker. That's a crab. I got tagged so many times.
Yeah.
And like shown in Chicago. Like, did you check out the crab? Yeah, it's a mana rock, and it's a gold guy, and draw a card. And yeah.
Why is blue or gold going to blue? I don't like that.
I don't know.
I don't want gold to go to blue. I want it to just be in red so that I can play it.
Yeah, I don't know. Gold target creature and opponent control. Oh, I'll just read it. Red Death Shipwrecker, blue, red, 1/3 crab mutant. Tap, gold target creature and opponent controls. That player draws a card. You add red.
Neat.
So I don't know if the card's actually good.
No, I don't think it's actually as good as people think it is. But
goading certainly could be worth a card for that opponent if they're going to block and kill a different opponent's creature, or if they're going to block and trade. Then I've kind of 2-for-1 them, but my opponent gets a card back, but I didn't spend a card after I've done this a bunch because I get mana out of it. Like,
yeah,
I get how to evaluate that from a magic-y point. That's a lot to do to
get a red.
To maybe not eke out that much advantage.
Yeah.
That said, though, it does only cost 2 mana, and it's going to kind of pay for itself in 2 activations, which is fine.
Sure.
That's fine. Maybe it just turns into a frickin' 2-mana rock in your Izzet decks.
A really bad 2-mana rock.
Yeah. The other one I want to talk about is, I think, a card that'll see a little bit of play, and it's Veronica Dissident Scribe.
I've seen a few people online already wanting to build this.
Yeah, so this is a 3/3 human artificer rogue for red 2. It's got menace because, of course, everything needs to have everything.
Yes.
Whenever Veronica Dissident Scribe attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So that's looting.
Yes.
It goes right along with the junk theme that we see in the set that we're going to see more of next week.
Yes.
Also, whenever you discard one or more non-land cards for the first time each turn, create a junk token. And just for completionist's sake, it's an artifact with tap, sacrifice this artifact, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn, activate only as a sorcery.
What is essentially a clue token.
Yeah, I guess it is, except we don't have to pay.
Yes.
And there's extra steps.
Yes.
So is junk worse or better or kind of the same as clue? That's a next week question, but think about that and let us know in the CCO Discord or I guess in the comments below. But
Agreed.
This is red card advantage. It's not revolutionary. We have that, but it could be in the command zone. It's an attack trigger, which might matter. It's a discard thing, which red decks sometimes care about when they have things like Underworld Breach or Wheel decks, or if they're paired with other colors like black.
Maybe people will try and play it in Dredge somewhere because it discards before it draws.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Maybe people play it in Archimandrite because it's an artificer like your good friend Ryan. So I wanted to highlight that one for all of those reasons. Plus, it's got an attack trigger, which we're seeing a lot of in these Universes Beyond products because they're highly complex but very geared towards new player acquisition.
Yes.
And when it attacks triggers, we talked about it in
Clue.
And did we also mention it in Doctor Who?
I believe so, yes.
Where when it attacks or when it deals combat damage is like a piece of magic language that tells players what to do with it.
Yes.
And for me, I don't like it because I don't play a whole bunch of decks that care about cards that do that. But at the same time, I do recognize that lots of people do, and it is a good way to teach players kind of how to navigate the game. And I appreciate that. So long-winded way of saying I think that's a good kind of piece of design space.
It's a great teaching tool that they're using.
Yeah.
There.
What do you got? You got a couple more.
I do.
A couple more that won't be on my top 5, which you haven't seen yet. So I guess if there's some crossover on Friday, let me know in the comments today and on Friday.
So we'll see. I want to talk about Moira Brown, guide author, for a couple of reasons.
Sure.
First reason, she's kind of neat. 2/3, Boros and 1. When she comes into play, create a colorless equipment artifact token called Wasteland Survival Guide that has equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each quest counter among permanents you control and equip 1.
Okay.
So it's the quest counters matter commander.
Now, we've got cards from like Zendikar era that care about quests, and there's another legendary from this set that cares about quest.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the one that I give a shit about.
Okay.
And it also has whenever you attack, put a quest counter on target non-land permanent you control. Now, will this head up the quest deck, or will it just be really good in decks that play Beastmaster Ascension? Who can say? But
That's not even the same color.
that's why I say it has to be in the deck with it. But here's the thing that I think that Fallout fans specifically will like about Moira Brown. She's from Fallout 3. She causes all sorts of headache for your player character. She makes you pick up landmines. She makes you drink irradiated water. She makes you grow a new arm.
Oh, I could use an extra one of those.
Like a third arm. Like, she just causes all sorts of trouble. And a lot of people have blown up the town of Megaton. And we're going to talk about that next week.
Megaton?
Just to
like
kill.
Megaton? Like
it's called Megaton because there's an unexploded nuclear bomb in the middle of town.
Oh, okay.
And you can either disarm the bomb or you can detonate the bomb and kill everybody in town. Except Moira survives it because she has the survival guide.
Oh.
So she survives as a ghoul, and she's very irritating, and she's very wordy, and lots of people don't like her.
Yeah.
So this card being in this set, being in play, will give people who have played Fallout finally the chance to kill Moira Brown. And I think a lot of people, more people than you think, are going to do that.
Well, I'm looking at cards that have the word combination quest counter on them.
Yes.
In Magic history, there's 28 across all 5 colors. And I'll tell you this, nearly all of them, all of them have lots of words.
Yes. Lots of words.
On point, but she would have to be in the 99.
Yes, I believe so, yes. Because I think all of the good quest counter stuff that people that you're already playing, with the exception maybe of Luminarch Ascension,
Hey, that's a good one.
is outside of her colors. So I don't think any of the red quests really get played.
Yeah, you know what? There's a bunch of quest counter inclusive stuff in Fallout. There's Arcade Cannon, there's Craig Boner, there's Duchess, there's Moira Brown, Overseer Vault 76, Advisor, there's a couple robots. There's Sierra Nuka's biggest fan, right? So there's a bunch of stuff.
We're going to talk about her now.
Oh, let's do it.
Sierra Nuka's biggest fan is a 3/4 for white and 3. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on her.
There you go.
And create a food token. Whenever you sack a food, target creature you control gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of quest counters on her.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Whenever I sack a food, target creature gets X, where X is number of quest counters?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And she's going straight probably into the food decks, right?
Yeah, definitely. The food decks that we saw so much of since Lord of the Rings and Wilds of Eldraine, right?
And she's one that I think we're going to actually see again seeping into the regular decks. Because I played against 2 or 3 food decks in Chicago. I know there's 3 or 4 that are popping around our LGS.
Yep, because there was the food pre-con in Lord of the Rings, and then immediately after that we got Wilds of Eldraine that gave us food in the same color that deck was in.
Yes.
Right? And just a little bit of a historical kind of strategy thing that made its way into metagames at large, right?
Do you think it's because they just wanted food to be good? So they're like, let's do food. And they're trying it with Clue now to make clues better. But they just food kind of sucks. Let's make food better.
I think there's, with these universes beyond, I think that there's an overarching theme or some indelible part of the IP that they want to make sure that they service, because it's going to get people in, and then they're giving those people more cards in future sets, right? And the food thing in Lord of the Rings, because player acquisition from Lord of the Rings was through the roof.
Yeah.
Let's give them another thing that they can add to their food deck, and then another thing that they can add to their food deck. And now this, Sarah Nuka's biggest fan, to their food deck.
Yeah.
Right? And this card's good. I love the art, right?
I like that
she's
too.
doing the very Instagram, cam girl, pay for my OnlyFans picture. But
is she the last OnlyFans girl?
Oh, yes. And her frickin' card even is called fan. Oh, man. Nuka's only fan. Yeah, man. And the depth of field in the art, right? How the background is blurred. I love that piece. That's a cool picture.
Another one from the iconic Fallout 3. Her quest is to bring her, I believe, 25 Nuka-Cola Quantums.
There you go.
Which are the hard to find ones.
Yeah, that is a piece. Okay, give me a couple more, because I think there's at least 2 more that people are kind of pumped about.
I think one of them is the Wise Mothman.
Yes, and this early on from Weekly MTG was one we've seen and people got hype about.
Another face commander as what color is it? Abzan?
That is Sultai.
Sultai.
Blue, green, black, 1 is what we're paying.
Insect mutant for 3/3. It has flying. When it comes into play or attacks, each player gets a rad counter.
Okay.
Whenever 1 or more non-land cards are milled, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to X target creatures, where X is the number of non-lands milled this way.
Okay, and just for reference, I know we said we're going to talk about it next week, but we got to touch on it now. A rad counter says this, and you can get a bunch of them like poison counters or experience counters, right?
Correct.
Okay, so a radiation counter.
Yep.
Right? You've been exposed to radiation. This is nuclear fallout we're talking about. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, if you have any rad counters, mill that many cards. For each non-land card milled this way, lose 1 life and a rad counter. So you are milling cards and losing life for each non-land you mill.
Yes.
But when you mill, you lose the rad counter.
Yes.
So the radiation eventually goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that because, flavorfully, your radiation kind of has a half-life. It gets half as much as it was before, because you have about half of your deck being land.
Sure.
So there's a distinct half-life on this, which is cool. And the Wise Mothman, going back to the commander, gives us access to blue in our bug decks.
Oh,
Did you think of that? Because he's an insect, and insects are primarily Golgari since the beginning of time.
Yep.
And that is an archetype that we've run into at the LGS and that we've played against at Magicons.
Yep.
The bug deck in Golgari. Lara has one. The bug doctor had one when he played with us.
Yep.
And now they've got access to blue.
Cool.
And the card's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I guess this would be more of a... Would it be a mill deck? Do you think?
I don't know. If you're farming radiation, I guess you could mill with that.
Yeah. Play Radstorm. We're going to talk about that probably a little bit next week.
Yeah.
Last one I want to talk about.
Sure.
Because I really like this card. Again, I probably won't build it, but I think it's, and this is a spoiler for the end of the show, I think this might be my favorite one.
Oh.
I really like this card.
There we go. Okay.
3-Dog Galaxy News DJ.
Oh, not who I thought you were going to.
Is a 1/5 for Boros and 1. Whenever we attack, we can pay 2 and sacrifice an aura attached to him.
Okay.
When you sacrifice an aura this way, for each attacking creature we control, we create a token that's a copy of that aura on that creature. I really like that.
There you go.
I think that is so freaking cool. So you build them in like a Boros token attacky deck, but with an aura sub-theme. So you put like shiny impetus on them. Then you attack with 4 dudes, sack the shiny impetus, give all your dudes +2/+2, and the next turn when they attack, you make a bazillion treasures. Etc., etc., etc. Or you could be a total degen and put Eldrazi Conscription on him.
Yes.
And then put that on all your dudes, right?
You know that's what people are doing.
Absolutely, that's what they're doing. But I really like that. And it's a different card that does something different. Yes, it's still Boros attacky, but the ability that it's the thing that it's doing is something not many cards do, except for Feather from like last week.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily Boros attacky. Look at like 2 weeks ago or last week, whenever it was when we did the Feather deck, we were like, Boros Enchantress, this is actually cool. And this is a great example of, hey, if you came in the last year and you like Fallout, or if you like Fallout and 3-Dog's your guy, look backwards a week at Commander Cookout, and here's this other stuff that you can do that A, is unique, but you don't know it's unique. But it lets you get like this different kind of take on the game when you do this, and somebody says, hey, I've never seen a Boros deck do this. Think of the smarts and the feels that a new player is going to get when they start using Boros in an atypical way. Right off the bat, they're going to say something like, hey, I must be good at this. Hey, I must be clever. Hey, I've put some thought into this. It makes me feel good. They might get stomped because they're playing just Boros, and all those feelings get flushed down the toilet.
No, that's not a thing anymore, my dude.
Here's the thing. Did you know this guy's laying down on his back?
What?
That Dutch angle again makes it look like he's like standing or dancing or something, but he's lying down on his back.
So he is.
Yeah, just another cool throw to the art. It's kind of a cool piece.
3-Dog.
3-Dog. Yeah, see, I don't know anything about it.
What's the one that you thought I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say the Master Transcendent, the other rad or radiation face commander guy.
No, I don't give a shit about that guy. We'll read him, though.
Sure.
2/4 for Sultai and 1. When he comes into play, target player gets 2 rad counters.
Okay.
Tap. Put target creature card in any graveyard that was milled this turn onto the battlefield under your control. It's a green mutant with base power and toughness 3/3.
I don't mind that.
It's fine.
Creature that was milled this turn. In any graveyard milled this turn. So this, like Sultai is famous for self-mill.
Yep.
So this guy could facilitate that deck if you wanted to like switch out Muldrotha because that card's kind of got a stigma.
Yep.
Right? You could do this guy. Or you could build a mill deck and have access to 3 colors instead of just 1 or 2, which is cool. Or you could build the rad deck and just frickin' go hard on mill rad, and this guy gives you just pure benefit of, radiation milled you, I'm going to get your guy.
Yep.
So there's a bunch of different build paths, and look at that frickin' art. It's so good.
This one does give us, I think it makes some of the older mill cards from the old 60 and 4 1-on-1 days.
Yes.
I think it makes them a little better. You can actually play Glimpse the Unthinkable now, which is Dimir, target player mills 10.
Oh, yeah.
Because you mill him for 10 and get a dude, as opposed to like mill 10. Who cares? Mill 10.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that makes that card better than it would have been. It makes it, air quotes, playable.
Yeah.
Which you got to like. You got to dig that.
You know what? Anytime they can open up a strategy or open up colors for an established strategy or make old cards relevant, especially old cards that have like some fame and notoriety to them.
Yeah.
Anytime they can do that while also giving new players their thing, or like in a pre-con, or facilitating people that want to play Fallout and Magic, like anytime they can do that, it's a win-win-win-win-win. This is the kind of card, Master Transcendent, that makes me happy that like these kinds of products come out.
Yeah.
Because people are going to be happy with the Master.
Sure.
Right? Just like they were happy with the Master in Doctor Who. We just get a Master every set now.
Yeah, it's not even the same guy, for the record. They're not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same person.
But they also make new and established players happy because, like, think of Aiden. Maybe he wants to try this instead of his Muldrotha deck.
Doesn't. But
Doesn't,
I get
but
what
could.
yeah,
but
he could.
Right? Without tweaking literally anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to tweak my mill deck. Maybe I want to build a second or third or fourth or fifth mill deck. Right? And this guy could be it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be challenging and different and going to give me a swath of cards that I've never even thought of playing before. And everybody's going to be the better for it.
I agree.
So here's the question.
Question.
French for question for people outside of Canada. Favorite legend?
I just said 3 Dog.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 3 Dog.
That's right.
What's yours?
Probably, oh man, probably the zombie guy.
The zombie guy we talked about earlier?
Yeah. Just because
Hancock?
I would tweak my mono. No, the big robot guy.
Yeah,
Big robot guy.
The Liberty Prime, baby.
Liberty Prime, energy, color combo I like, big, dumb robot, hit hard, big, fast robot guy.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct. All those things you said are true.
Most powerful in the set. Who are you putting your stamp on?
Oh, boy. I don't know, man.
Hit hard, big, fast, big, dumb robot guy?
Caesar Legion's Emperor.
Oh, yeah, probably.
I think it's going to be
just
Caesar.
unending value.
Yeah.
Hey?
The fact that we said this could be a
Edgar Markov
analog for
stand-in.
Edgar Markov,
Yeah.
like, that says it all right there. I think.
Yeah. I guess in the comments, on Discord, on Twitter, let us know your favorite 99ers. Who are you going to build as a whole deck?
Yeah.
And who do you think is the most powerful?
Yes.
And of course, tune into Top 5 in 5, where I look at the rest of the legends and pick maybe the ones that I think are going to permeate into the format kind of the most strongly.
I've already talked about the coolest ones.
Yeah, and we talked about some of the powerful ones, but we only read about 15 or 20, and that's less than half. So, of course, tune in on Friday. It's going to be there.
Agreed.
Tune in on Friday the 15th for Sidewalk Slam Season 2, Episode 3. We're running back previous opponents from earlier games that we've played as a rematch.
Ooh.
Yeah, and tons of fun, lots of funny jokes, casual gameplay, and just fun. Just people sitting down, having fun, trash talking. I just sent the game off last night, and it was a good one.
It's going to be a solid game because, your boys are in it, and we're pretty good.
Who else do we got to thank? The patrons, the business daddies, everybody that was in Chicago. Do your thing. Final thought of the day.
We got to thank Pile of Bones Brewing Co. out in Regina, second coolest thing out of there, and our beer sponsor for the aforementioned Sidewalk Slam. Got to thank Business Daddies Fusion Gaming Online for providing us with Fallout cards at a discount using CCO Summer Special promo code at checkout. Got to thank all the people from Chicago and everybody out there listening to the show, because we would not be here without you. And we're going to be back next week to talk about the rest of the dystopian wasteland that is Fallout on the next episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!